we're here, and we're most definitely queer. Hey everybody, it's the Cloudwork podcast.
Hello,
and we're
everyone.
back.
Hello, everyone.
We're back after what was it?
Hey y'all, Cloud
Five?
here.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's great to be back after what was it? 4, 5 weeks?
Yeah, about a month.
Yeah, it's been lonely.
There's been times where I get up for it on the weekend and then get a message from one of you being like I can't do it today, and then being like, well, I woke up at 10 a.m. for no reason and then go back to sleep.
Oh.
Wait, you woke up at 10 a.m. for no reason? I wake up at 6 a.m. By
You're
myself.
16, though.
I'm a teen. I need to sleep more, and still I wake up on the early hours of the morning.
I stay up till 4 a.m. and then sometimes, and so I sleep in till 12.
Which is very
Sometimes
nice.
Tonight, but so everybody, So the people listening here at home on YouTube, on the Twitch stream, or do we have a SoundCloud?
We do Twitch. I upload our thing to YouTube. Usually after it's done, post it on Twitter to go to the YouTube. I mean, you figured out to do one of the other million things that exist, but for now,
like SoundCloud.
those
Yeah,
are the things.
but so when you're listening on, we have made our triumphant comeback. And what would we make for tonight's theme, would you ask? A very breathtaking topic that is very topical and that everybody has done, especially in these days. Yes, I'm being absolutely sarcastic right now. We are talking about books.
Yeah. Well, to be very old-fashioned, it was the thing in my day.
Oh, no, that's sad. What? Didn't you grow up in like 20,000s?
Yeah, but when I was very young, computers were not a thing to have in your home.
Computers
they
were a thing, but they didn't really do the thing. They were more...
Well,
when are you born now again, David?
I was born in 1987.
87, so the... I know that a Queen album was released that year. Let's see.
Definitely weren't home PCs. Definitely weren't commonplace even when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't get one until I was 11, and even then we only had one.
Yeah, they were crazy expensive.
Yeah, and then
you could play solitaire on them, and that's it, or draw pictures on paint.
Are you really sure? Didn't okay, let's see.
Listen here, young lad.
Young.
We had one PC, and the things I did most on it were pre-built with games in it.
Yeah.
Usually be learning games, and that's what I would do. I guess the internet existed, but
yeah, but
what's this internet
later. Okay, so you were in 70, in 97 you were 10 years old, right? Barbs?
Yeah, I was 10 years, yeah.
Fallout, the first one, it came out in 1970.
Yeah.
1997.
That's
so in the late 90s, that's when PC gaming really took off and became a thing.
Yeah, but it wasn't the same thing. Facebook wasn't big. YouTube
Facebook
didn't
in
start till
1997.
2005.
I'm quite sure Facebook didn't exist then.
No.
If you could let me finish my words, that'd be great. But it didn't like Facebook wasn't a thing. Like a thing.
Mhm.
Like Twitter wasn't a thing. Anything that that I use now to hear about said things didn't exist, and
Yeah.
even on promote computer games, they promoted game system games or otherwise. So it was really hard to hear about PC games unless you had a friend that was into them.
Mhm.
Also, you have to keep in mind that internet was slow as snail stream. It was dial up, so you could not call
Yeah,
if you were
cue the dial-up
using,
sound.
yeah. So you could not call anyone if you were using the internet. So what happens is that if you wanted to use the internet, your parents usually would say, yeah, you cannot use the internet more than 1 hour because it was crazy expensive and you could not call anyone. So
I would.
Did you have to pay for internet?
yeah,
And now we're going back to the olden days with what was it now again in 18? What was it? What was it? Were the bombs down at
I don't know.
down in yeah, net equality? We're going back in time,
Mhm.
or you have to pay for internet. Yippee!
Well,
Pay
yeah,
for internet.
yeah.
Yeah, but
S-
we are
so-
getting off track here, people.
Yeah, but Benjamin, just imagine a world where you cannot go on the internet without like being insanely annoyed by the dial-up. Internet was slow as snails. You didn't have anything like social media like Twitter or thing, and
You got real good at Minesweeper.
yeah, and mobile phones were crazy expensive as well, so you could not just go like calling people
Okay,
randomly.
yeah. Then I would probably be the gay butterfly of the town.
Yeah. So what you
What
would,
is hard?
so what you would do when you were like not going out, you would read books or watch television because television was a thing.
The relics from another time.
Yeah.
Books.
So yeah. So,
I watched a lot of TV, but I did do books too.
yeah.
There's movies.
Yeah. So you,
I swear to God.
yeah. And of course, back in our days, young man Benjamin, television was told to be very bad for your eyes, so you could not watch continuously as well. So
Come on.
no, really, you couldn't watch. Like, if you had responsible parents, you couldn't watch more than 2 hours of television in a day. And you couldn't.
I remember that.
Yeah, and
My
you
I
couldn't
would
sit-
watch The Simpsons only because
Yeah.
I knew exactly when The Simpsons would come on, so
Yeah.
that's what I would do.
And you couldn't sit too close to the television either because it will ruin your eyes.
And-
Now we have a VR, and your eyes are like 5 centimeters from the screen. But whatever, when we were young, you couldn't do that. So like books were a crazy.
Are you
thing.
getting a little bit pissy now, Barbs?
This is reality
You're like,
in my time.
I could have watched much more television.
Nah, TV was real bad.
I missed so much Teletubbies.
You see, like,
yeah, Cloud.
it was more like just weren't studied enough, or when they finally were, like, it took a while for word of mouth to spread about TVs not being as dangerous
Yeah.
as one thought. So it took a while for it to become common knowledge that you can just watch TV. Still, some people still believe it harms your eyes,
Yes.
and so like.
But now everybody has a screen.
Yes. Even at school, you have
Like,
a screen.
when I was
Plasma, just normal glass. Oh, do you have those big fat ass things?
Yeah.
Nah.
I used to have a CRT, flat screen CRTs that were the biggest TVs
Yeah.
like in
Oh, those
existence.
fat, yeah, those fat cans, yeah.
Moving those things were not fun.
No.
Oh man.
Usually, the old style TVs were just as deep as they were wide, so you had like a cube in your home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, I grew up in the late 20. Yep, I grew up, still growing up in the late, mm, in the late 2000s and the and the early 2010s,
Yes.
and that was a cozy time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there still was only like one family computer. You would play like, what was it now? Uh, Freddy Fish? Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Those kind of things. They would just be fun. Sit there for hours if you got permission. Just have a good time.
I
Ah.
remember when YouTube was a thing, and
Yeah.
I would watch it. That it was just
Oh,
much different
what
than
was that?
it is today.
What was that? In the year 2007?
I
5.
God damn, 11 years ago. 12.
Was it 5 when YouTube started?
Yeah. YouTube started in 25, yeah. But it was very different from what it is now. Very
You could watch like full movies for free without like any
Yeah.
repercussions. Like it took until like 2008, 2009 for like YouTube to finally start taking that shit down.
Yeah.
Oh, no! No! I was born in the wrong time era. No. Step back, because that's one thing. People say, like, people who like in my current generation, are people who like old school music, not even just 80s, maybe 50s, like I do. And people say, "Oh, I was born in the wrong millennia." Wrong. Because if you were born in the 50s, you probably would have never heard of that obscure 50s artist that you like so much, because you don't have any internet or anything like that.
Yeah. You had to
Yeah,
listen
more or
to
less.
the
Yeah,
radio.
yeah. Now you can listen to anything you like. So more or less, you are born in the perfect era because you have almost everything that has ever happened at your fingertips.
Yeah.
Also, like, then like your favorite band, Queen, was real good, but like that, that people listen to now, that people remember were bands that like parents were super against. Like roll
Yeah.
The Sex
basically.
Pistols.
Rock and roll was really intent. Like people's parents didn't let them listen to.
Rock and roll or
Things
metal?
like that.
Because
Everything.
it's a big difference. Queen was rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's like Queen is famous now and was famous at the time, but like parents hated it, so kids had a hard time listening to it because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still, books, guys,
Yeah.
books.
So we wanted to set up the idea why books were so important in our lives, because like
Yes.
yeah, there was literally almost nothing else except like your few hours of television, or you had to go outside, and me being not the most social being when I was little, I'd rather spend my time inside with books. So
Yes, and now you are the same unsocial being, but with access to the internet. So something's
I've
It's
grown more
delightful, ain't
social.
that?
I must
Yeah.
admit I've grown more social.
Going outside isn't as terrifying anymore. I mean, I used to have a trampoline when I was a kid, so I would do that. Like that was the extent of my going outside as a child.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God, how many of these things? God. Sorry, my roommate just blew up condom balloons and was throwing them around.
Yeah.
that
Didn't
is the
let you listen
strangest
to rock music.
interruption ever.
Yeah, they didn't let you listen to rock music, but inflate condoms and throw them around. That they let you do.
Save inflation.
One of my roommate's friends who over a backpack and left it, and then my roommate opened it, and it was a backpack full of condoms, and we are just like, come on, dude, you're not having this much sex. There's no need for this many condoms. Chill.
Yeah.
Okay, but what was he gonna do with all those?
Nobody knows.
He's probably gonna have him.
Guys on Facebook too, where they
like
where
when like no like
day.
no like on break when everybody else leave, he will be in his room. He will be in his room, and he will more or less be in blowing up hundreds and hundreds of condoms into a big ball sea.
Kind of inside bouncy castle, you want to say?
Yeah. Was it again? Yeah, late at night. It's on break. Everybody else, but he has filled his room with condom balloons, like a big ball heaven, ball, like a big ball pit.
Yeah.
And it's just promiscuous fun.
But to come back to... Sorry, yeah, Cloud.
So when I was younger, what my mom would do is take me to the library. I lived in Salem, Oregon at the time, and like you could get to up to like 50 books if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Get a stack of like books or like something of that nature, and come home and just read all of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we would do that.
If I didn't read any of the books that would later become movies, such as the Percy Jackson series or Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Harry Potter, indeed.
I didn't even read Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. Like I read other
Heathen
movies. I understand that the books are better, and like I understand their like culture significance. But I've only read the first chapter of the Lord of the Rings book.
Yeah, they're big books, and they're really, really, really slow reading sometimes. They are really complicated when it comes to, like, they have this huge world building, and if you're not into world building, those books are not for you. To be fair,
When you're watching the Star Wars prequel, and they're talking about their politics, and you're like, I don't care, just throw lightsabers at each other.
yeah, start having a fight.
Yes. Everybody talks about the great Star Wars prequels and their intergalactic politics.
Yeah.
Although, you can see the E.T. creatures in one of the scenes, so, you know.
What? In Star Wars? E.T.
And this scene, there's a scene where like it's a bunch of different creatures convening for like a meeting or something, and there in one of the things there's ET creatures.
Oh yeah, I remember.
E.T. phone home
Well, he was
to that galaxy far, far away.
according to Star Wars, he's already home, I guess.
Yeah, but in a galaxy far, far away, in a time long, long ago.
Yeah. So yeah, but books. To be fair, I've read Lord of the Rings, and I've read all three books. I read The Hobbit, and I've read Silmarillion. So I read all of them. I've read the Silmarillion.
And the Silmarillion,
Yeah.
and the Silmarillion, for you who don't know, is the collective of stories explaining a lot of the lore and a lot of the world
Yeah.
in Lord of the Rings.
I call it the Tolkien Bible.
Which is more or less what it is.
Yeah, basically.
It's a history book.
Yeah. So I've read a lot of fantasy books when I was younger. So I've read all the Harry Potter books, all the Lord of the Rings books. I've read Darren Shan, which is an Irish writer about vampires, which is actually for children, but it was very interesting because it was talking about dynamics of becoming a vampire and getting ripped out of your own world and getting lost inside of another one, which is very different. There were Dutch writers about fantasy things as well. But the most... So, if we also want to talk about books that influence us and books that like had a big impact. Aside from all those fantasy books, the one that actually made the greatest impact on me, and I kid you not, is a book about sex, about sexual education.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you very
like,
much.
okay, for anybody else, that would be surprising. For you, not at all, Barbs.
Thank you. Anyway, so yeah, sexual education in the Netherlands is started at age 12, so the first years of your secondary school. But you know,
Feel that.
yeah, but the weird things with the Netherlands is that if you watch a kids film, there will be nudity. Like for little kids even. It's like a joke, but there will be asses and there will be chest hair and there will be breast. In full view. I kid you not.
Rough people in the Netherlands.
So you might expect some questions. You might expect some questions after a while when a kid sees like a show or a movie and suddenly a human walks out with a thing dangling underneath his crotch. And like, so that kind of stuff. So my mom bought me a book about sexual education. It was also
So how old were you when you read this book?
I was 10, I think.
Oh God, my poor Barbs.
10.
Oh no, the beast.
Almost
The beast.
almost 11. It was also like written for children of that age. And so,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
and-
nice at least.
Yeah. And she was like, yeah, you can read this book. But she didn't say if you have any questions, you can come to me. So she probably expected me to come. But I just read the book and I read it again and I read it again. And it was very nicely explained how sex works, well, in the terms of a child. And that there were boys and there were girls and that kind of stuff. And if a boy likes a girl, things happen. And you grow, things happen. And all that stuff. So that was the first time
A book about the birds and the bees, basically.
Yeah, about the birds and the bees, and I do not remember if it was also about other sexuality, so like if it was completely heterosexual or whether it also went a little bit into homosexuality. I do not remember. But it is possible that there was a passage that said like it doesn't matter whether you're a guy or a girl, whether you're being in love with a guy or a girl. But that changed my view on the world like immensely, because suddenly I wasn't this innocent little 10-year-old that didn't know anything about sex. Suddenly I was an innocent 10-year-old who knew what sex was, and I wanted to try things. And so so that was so when I was, I think, 11, and I read the book like 5 times or something. In those years, I got my own television for the first time. Like, televisions were also expensive, Benjamin.
Oh,
if you want
look
to,
at you, you're a little rich kid.
yeah,
When I was a kid, one of the best joys in life was when I lived in this house, my Salem house, and I got a second television.
yeah,
Television also had cable come with it, and it was the best. It was the best,
it was,
best day ever, best time ever.
yeah. I think more than one television is like crazy at that time. So yeah, so my grandparents were afraid to die, so they just gifted everyone lots of money. Yeah, and with that money, I could buy my first television. Um, with the books in mind that I've read, I started watching late night television. So, if you are not aware, before media, before internet, there was porn on the television after 10 p.m. So
Oh God.
or
And how old were you then?
11. I was 11.
11.
So
It's about that's about
yeah,
like I started to discover what porn was. I don't remember. I honestly don't kick
Yeah,
off the interest.
same actually.
But
I-
like
I-
I remember doing it on the. If I could explain real quick,
yeah.
my computer was actually located. How my house is set up, there was 2 living rooms, both of them right next to each other, a hallway, and then a second hallway.
Yeah.
And the second hallway, there were like a couple rooms in there, and one of them had our PC in it.
Mm-hmm.
Closed the hallway door and the room with the I was in for the computer, so I could, and I, you know, used to look up porn that way.
Mm-hmm.
But like, parents found out because of search history, because
Yeah.
you're a 10-year-old and you or 11-year-old and you don't know what search history is.
No.
But like, I definitely have to share that story for another time because it's real funny how my mom reacted.
Yeah.
And then later when my little brother did it, it's even more fun. So I'll tell that story sometime. But like, it was but I was around the same age.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think about
Yeah.
that age you're going to question those things. But yeah.
Mhm.
So if I
Yeah.
but just to iterate, like, if I didn't read the book about sex and things, and I suddenly had that television and was looking at porn after, on my television, I would be like, what the heck is that? But now I knew what it was, and I was actually very interested in all the sexual education programs that were on the television, and I discovered myself in that way. So yeah, most people were like, yeah, this book was really literate and was really nice, and that changed me. And I'm like, no, I read a book about sex, and it changed me in that way.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Figure out about it, and then some people
Mhm.
just really want to learn about it, and it's a whole other thing that you didn't know about. So
True.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
Mm. Like, yeah, and it's kind of funny how we all kind of saw our first porn thing at 11. But like for me, it was actually a very goddamn strange. It was quite a stupid, stupid set of circumstances. More or less, me and my brother were.
Benjamin, before you start talking, maybe we can have like one special episode where we talk about sex and how we found out and that sort of stuff. Because you also want to,
let's do that.
because you also want to talk
Yes,
about your
yes. How about we change it and I actually talk about the book I wanted to talk about?
Yes.
Go for it.
Because this has gone on at least for 35 or 40 minutes and we haven't talked about books.
I
Well,
don't talk
Barb,
about books.
the angel that she is, has a little bit, but yes, let's do that. So, let's see. So, when I was in around 5th grade, which was around 12,
Mm-hmm.
that was when that was when I was I had been pulled away from my school that I had been going so far in my life because they had been treating me when it came to special care very poorly,
Mm-hmm.
as my mother very frequently said when she complained slash just ranted about it, was that the only help I got from that place was getting out of there. But
Yeah.
more or less, then I was in a special school
Mm-hmm.
for for people with autism slash actually not really that, just problem kids. One at least,
Mm-hmm.
one at least that I found out that was they had a problem with staying up late at night. But anyway, and yeah, it was a nice school. It was like only 11, like 10 or 6 kids in only one class, so it was quite close knitted.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing, and that's my education right now. That I am like in one with also with 9 other classmates, and that's like, yeah, I kind of miss having a larger group of people that I can at least have some kind of connection where I can actually give a real impression on,
Mm-hmm.
because I couldn't do that with artists because they don't care.
No.
Which is nice in some ways, but when you are like me, is somebody who very much likes to dress up and act flamboyantly and more or less do things that I would. It's not saying that I want attention. It's just that if I got attention, I would be very happy.
Mm-hmm.
And again, with artists, that's not gonna happen. They're just gonna look at you and looking good, and then go back. But still, so in this special school that I was in 5th grade, we had it was a lot of not really ceremonies, but I can't. When it comes to autism, and it's a lot of not ceremonies.
Traditions?
What?
Routines?
Yeah, routines. A lot of routines, and just and every day we had a routine that in the beginning we would talk about a few things. We talk about a few things, go through the day, that kind of stuff, and we would be read a book aloud, a few pages. And now we are actually getting to the point, because one of those books, I wouldn't say it changed me, but it really struck a chord with me,
Mm-hmm.
because I have it right here in my hand. It was gifted to me from this special school. After I moved on to 7th grade, which is another which is a higher level of education in the elementary school, but which this special school didn't support.
Yep.
So yeah, when I got this as a goodbye present.
Okay.
This book. I don't think it's the same one, but still, this one is Edward Tulane's Fantastic Journey, written by Kate DeCamillo, which actually has since then become my favorite author. It's it's a children's book, around 200 pages long. Is not doesn't have much when it comes to it's a short story about a bunny, not a bunny, a porcelain, a ceramic porcelain rabbit, bunny rabbit doll named Edward Tulane, and think of it as real life Toy Story.
Yeah.
And what does that entail? Yes, he has his own thoughts. Nothing else. He can see, he can hear, he can smell, but he can't move. He can only sit there, listen, and think, talk to other dolls, but not. But it's not really that specified. But it's not important thing that this book goes through how he ended up, how he was made to be the playmate of a little girl called Abilene, who treated him as an equal, as another person, and that made him quite. Pretentious. He felt himself as quite worthy, and when anybody disrespected him, he didn't care much about Abilene or anyone. He was quite cold in his train of thought, and then under this, but then it turns out that his Abilene's family is moving from I think from America, I think, to London, and Edward, on that fateful day, and when they were on the ship, two boys went up to Abilene and asked her about the doll. If he did anything, she answered no, he doesn't do anything, and they bullied her, stripped Edward naked, threw him around on deck until they slipped, and he fell into the water. And he lay there on the ocean surface for days. Oh, by the way, spoilers for this book. I'm gonna go through it.
No.
If that wasn't obvious.
You can summarize it, but don't have to go through the whole book.
I very much would like to do that, so I am going.
We don't have the time for that.
We just need to talk about
Okay. He lays there until a great storm sweeps him up. Okay, I'm just gonna hurry it on. He gets taken on he gets caught by a fisherman who brings it home to his wife, who puts Edward in a dress, and more or less he starts to get actually attached to this elderly couple. But one day their daughter comes in there thinking that this rabbit has started to make her parents go mad, so she puts Edward on the dump, and he lays there until a yes, there we go,
Yeah.
miraculous journey of
So-
Edward Lane.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't want to rush
He
you,
gets-
but it's if I just read the summary and you're not even halfway, so I'm like, it's a really nice story, but
Yes.
I really want to hear like how it influenced you.
Yes, but more or less, the very unique thing about this book is that through this journey, it's not just that he goes through this.
Mhm.
He develops in his train of thought as himself, as an individual.
Yes.
He develops he develops the ability to feel love. He actually starts to care about the conversations. Yeah, he starts to actually care.
Mhm.
And yes, it's quite and that's one thing. Again, it's because this is very unique because he himself develops as a being,
Mhm.
and yeah, again, that kind of development in a kid's book. That's and how this affected me as a person, I'm not sure how much, but it very much struck a chord with me. Probably that I probably
Yeah, you could relate, I think, or not.
yeah, I probably l- because this book took such an imprint on me. It probably just helped me, or more or less made me, or this book inspired me
Mhm.
unknowingly, unconsciously, to become a nicer person.
Okay.
I think probably.
Really,
It's
really
not
nice.
as exciting or sexual as Barb's story over here, but again, it's very much touched me, this book, and it's just
Yeah, that's very good.
it's it's a nice book.
It
It's a
is.
good book. It's a very good book, and it's a part of me. I again, it's very much nostalgia just holding in this.
Yeah, very good.
Mm, yeah, I'm snuggling it.
Yeah.
But it feels. It's just that it feels like it, helped me just develop my valuations on life and
Mhm.
how you should look upon it.
Yeah. I think that those are really great lessons that you've learned.
Yes, and it's a kid's book nonetheless. It's a kid's book that did
Kids.
a children's literature, and normally this thing is dumbed down so supposedly that stupid children can
Mhm.
understand it.
It's
And
really good. I'm glad you really enjoyed that book.
yeah,
Uh,
it's a very
Yeah.
uh, so, for me,
Mhm.
with books, uh, for me, like I can't talk about books unless I bring up the stories I read as a kid.
Mhm.
I read like a little Goosebumps. I
Ah.
did read a little like these scary stories for kids thing that is being turned into a movie, uh, or has at some point. It's like I don't know. It was like everyone I know has like read at least one story from that book,
Yeah.
but like I just don't remember the name.
Goosebumps. Goosebumps. That's a children's horror literature story.
Yeah.
It's in several
A TV
several
show
books
or
written
was.
by R.L. Stein.
Yes.
Cloud, continue.
It's children's horror, so more or less it's scares for the kiddies.
Yeah, really good. Cloud, continue.
Chills.
It was a show, and it recently had 2 movies.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Underpants. I read a number of those.
Mm-hmm.
Did when the movie came out. Like that was really cool.
I
And
imagine.
they and then Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I read a lot of, which
Yes.
good. It was his real good kid series, and like it's still making books. There's like 14 of them.
Yeah, true. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I think it was after my time, actually. At least in the Netherlands. It didn't got out in the Netherlands until I was 15 or 16 or something, so that was way behind. But they were selling like hotcakes indeed.
Oh yeah, they recently a lot of like fan stories being made that are really funny. There's a lot of like fake Twitter accounts of people pretending to be characters from the show. That's really funny.
Yeah.
And like recently, a book came out where it's from the point of view of his friend Riley, which is really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really entertaining. But Diary of a Wimpy Kid was really interesting to me because it showed you how not to be a person. Like, which is interesting because the main character Greg is just awful most of the time.
Yeah. So that influenced you as well, I guess.
It's the Diary of a Wimpy Kid. It like the whole basis around why the guy's even writing journals is so that not diaries, he calls them journals,
Mm-hmm.
so that when he's older and famous, he can just give these books out to people so they will leave him alone.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
the whole
so more or
point.
less if he gets famous, that oh, you want my private life? Here's my private life.
Yeah. So like, you know, and it just like shows him being like he's one of those people that doesn't do anything unless there's something in it for himself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really but really like those books a lot. And then when I got older and when I was in high school, whenever I would have to pick a book out to read or something else, one book that I read that I really liked was The 7 People You Meet in Heaven.
Okay.
If you've never read it, I definitely would suggest it.
I haven't read it, to be fair.
It's really good. It turned into a movie actually.
Okay.
I've read I read a lot of books after that. I don't remember many of the other titles because it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
But The 7 People You Meet in Heaven definitely stuck with me for one reason or another. It's a really sweet book, and like it. I guess this is what I needed to read at the time. I guess kind of like when you watch a show that. As a kid that affects you, and it was because it's something you had to. Is something I read that was really, really, really good, and the movie's also. Too.
I'm watching. I'm looking it up, and it says The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. Is that one?
5? Oh, was it 5? I guess I got the title wrong.
By Mitch Albom.
It happens. Like it's been since I was in high school since I read it, and even then it was probably like my sophomore year or something when I did. Couple of years, but like it was really good. I definitely recommend that book. Besides, like those kind of books, I read a lot of one point read Percy Jackson when I was older.
Mm-hmm.
Did until like after the movie came out, I think.
Okay.
Like, like yeah, but those are the main books I remember
Okay.
reading.
Do you read right now? Like in your like, I I
I
must have.
read I read a lot of like currently I just do webcomic stuff right now. I
Mm-hmm.
read a lot of that.
Same.
Yeah.
Like
A
I've been keeping up
lot.
on our friend from Jupiter's comic choices.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Like,
yeah, I haven't
that's
actually
been
read
going good.
read it lately.
She
In a
was
few
very
months, actually.
was very kind and did a Q&A thing and
Mm-hmm.
linked our episode in the bio. Which was
Oh,
really
oh,
nice
that's
of her.
sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our most popular episode on YouTube.
Very good.
So, you know,
I wonder why.
We must get
I
other
got
people on.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm actually working on talking to this other webcomic artist. May want to come on. They're very,
Okay.
they're very
What's
shy.
okay? It's a boys' love.
It's a girls' love one actually.
Oh, okay. What's his name?
Uh, her name.
Oh, okay. Good. Because like one thing,
I'll link.
you don't
I'll
get
link
what I
her.
mean. Because boys' love, like it's surprising, but it's always straight girls who write and write and draw boys' love comics because fujoshis are a thing.
Last
They
night
are.
I found a guy. One a guy did, but he hasn't updated it since 2018. So,
Aw.
you know.
Like,
But no, I read a lot of comics right now,
Mm-hmm.
just because it's what I'm into right now,
Yes.
and the internet makes it so easy and acceptable. I've read a lot of good comics. Some that are boys love, some that are girls love, and some that are just like normal.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just normal normies, hetero.
You know, Penny Aggie is really good.
Mhm.
You Plus Me Dream is really good because it's like now every chapter. 1 minute it will be like normal art, and then it will be like like shots from claymation, and then it'll be like the next chapter will have like paper mache style
Ooh.
and like and stuff like that. It's just it changes like every chapter, and that was really interesting.
Yeah. I can
Mm.
imagine that. But so why I ask is because I have experienced that now I'm working like 40 hours a week, and I have to read a lot of stuff for my work. I'm not reading any books anymore, and that's actually a
Yeah,
waste.
yeah, it kind of sucks, but you know, people evolve. Like I just do different things. I watch
Mhm.
a lot of TV now because it grips me more
Mhm.
to do. Because as much as people say don't judge a book by its cover, it's kind of what all you have to go on when you
True.
or the school library to get a book.
Mhm. Indeed. So I have
Mhm.
my own
Yeah, but
personal
okay,
library.
just spurting out some names for some stuff that I actually am reading and this stuff like over
Your
has over. Okay, let's just take the ones that are over 500 pages that I have either complete and I have read or that are still going and I am reading. Rain LGBT. Let's see now. victim gate of spirit, or use
I mean that one.
autophobia. Let's see, dragon husbands, one rainy day, and then there's and those are over 500. Those would like would be of stuff. Boys love,
And getting
LGBT plus
the
stuff.
okay.
It's not a bad thing that I like looking at the thing that I looking at gay stuff being gay myself, because again, it's a good way of at least getting more comfortable in your own sexuality, at least. Not really exploring your limits, but getting comfortable consuming media, and only that.
Okay. Cloud, what did you want to say?
There are certain people I'd love to get on this podcast. Doing a lot of social network stuff with the podcast, because my personal Twitter I just turned into the Twitter for the podcast.
Oh, cool.
Yay! Nice.
And then so stuff. And man, but that means I'm like more involved with Twitter, which is like a double-edged sword, because man, it's way on there, and like I now know like everything about the Pro Jared situation that just happened.
What?
I don't watch Pro Jared.
What, Jared? What's Pro Jared?
Pro Jared was a gaming YouTuber, and recently he
there.
he cheated on his wife recently.
Yeah, that's something I did not want to read.
It was a shit show, but my eyes could not look away. It was a beautiful train wreck.
Oh, it wasn't.
A beautiful train wreck. Trainers are not beautiful. Morbidly interesting, yes, but not beautiful.
Yeah, it was a morbidly interesting train wreck indeed. But
there we go. Yes.
Is that, my favorite bit is that his subreddit turned against him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That was real funny.
Die.
But through my Twitter, I've like made some connections with some people, and so I'm working on doing get people on, and you guys can definitely invite people on if you guys know anybody that you want to.
Ooh, yeah, I have one. I offer that I have actually started in. Let's see, I know an offer that I actually more or less helped her out with the spelling of her comic.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually gotten to read previews of her stuff, and it's it's fun when you actually because people like a lot of people think that when they look at their idols and they're like, I wish I could contact them or talk to them. And the thing is that normally, unless they are not like PewDiePie or anybody, and they are kind of searching for help or there's something, they probably, if you come with something that would be of use to them, like you are offering to help in some way, they probably will invite you to do so. And I am right now helping this offer to grammar and spell check her comic, and it's quite awesome. And she may just may what? Yes, Cloud? Yes? I can't hear you, darling.
I can't hear Cloud either at the moment.
Cloud? Sorry, folks, there seems to be a technical difficulty with Dark Cloud's mic. Oh, there we go. Seems to be some clicking.
In the meantime, I put the Twitter of Cloud, where he's talking about Cloudwork, in the chat, so you can look at that and be all up to date.
Oh, there we go. Yes, Cloud. Wait.
Yeah, I post when I podcast, and then I post when I upload to YouTube and all that.
Very good, very good.
But Zeph, who are you talking about? Like, who have you been working with?
Oh, I have been working with a comic author.
I know that.
Her name is okay. I don't know her actual name, but she, as far as her online alias is Maria Archer, and she is the author and the artist for a comic called Iconoclasm.
Okay.
I haven't read that one, but nice.
It's quite interesting. It's a very much a. It's very much a. It's very much a. It's a unrealistic. Think that your favorite band, more or less, you play a specific instrument, and your favorite band, like a few years ago, the band member that plays the same instrument that you do, that band member goes through an accident and can't play anymore, dies, etc. And then you hear murmurs that they will be that they will be regrouping, and they want a new player of that particular instrument that you are, and then you come into the picture with, and yeah, more or less, and then confusing gay stuff ensue.
Okay.
Same. But man, you like take the long way to explain anything, don't you?
Yes, I know, but I would say that I like to paint a picture.
Fair enough.
Just like talking does.
So
yeah, I'm a storyteller, not a news anchor.
Real quick, just as a little fun thing to do, both of you, who would you, if you guys could have anyone come on to the podcast, who would you pick?
If they were dead.
Alive.
Yeah, it should be alive.
Okay, if there were not, okay, but if they were not, if I could take them back from the dead, and put them just for this, then it would be Freddie Mercury. Of course.
But the people who are alive that you like now.
Okay, let's see. It's hard.
I have to. One
Go ahead.
One is my dream, and one is actually reachable. My dream is Ninja Sex Party, the band with Dan African and Brian Wecht, because I really am a fan of them.
Brian who?
Brian, yeah, Wecht.
Who?
The way I pronounce it in Dutch is Wecht, so because there's a CH in there, but I don't know how you pronounce it.
Wait, Adam West.
No, Brian Wecht.
Who is that? Can you type that out in chat, darling?
I can.
God, your Netherlandian tongue is confusing to mine ears.
Oh,
you don't have to know who the person is, just...
Brian.
I have no idea who she's talking about.
No.
Brian Wecht.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, now.
But Ninja Sex
who is?
But Ninja Sex Party is my dream, and my more
Oh my god!
realistic
I went to a
view.
live concert.
When they ever go to Europe, I would just put all my money in there and go to a live concert of them.
Oh, so you want Ninja Brian to come on?
I want Ninja
Whoa,
Brian and Danny Sexton.
wait,
Yeah.
but Brian Wick, that's the ninja in Ninja Sex Party.
Yes.
Wait, so either you want Ninja Sex Party or just another half of the band?
No. The
Oh,
Ninja Sex
Ninja Sex
Party
Party
is
would
my
be cool.
dream, but the one that I also want, which is probably more realistic, is just Blair Lex and Skotsky, my dear friends, who also run a podcast and are
God
the
damn,
most
we
amazing.
could probably fix that.
Yeah, they are the most amazing weeps on the internet, and they are so much fun. to
Yes,
listen to.
and one thing. Okay, is the Christmas album coming out this Christmas season?
I don't know because well,
Look out for Blair and Scott's Christmas album because it. I have seen some of the songs on there, and one of them is quite a doozy and very much good. And Barbara the Beast, Barb's wrote it, so you know it's gonna be good.
no,
Oh, man, I would love to get NSP.
yeah.
I've been to one of their concerts when they went to Seattle. I was 6 hours from where I live
Yeah.
and 6 hours back on a bus. That was fun.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man,
Yeah.
like my friend just hits me up one day. And he's like, "Hey man, you want to go to a concert with me?" And I'm like, "I don't like. Depends. What concert?" And he just sends a picture of NSP. And I'm just like, "Yes, yes, yes." Oh man. I'm currently listening to the new Starbomb album, which I really like.
Guys?
Party. Yeah. Benjamin.
Dan from Ninja Sex Party is 40 years old now.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, he's a rockin' 4-year-old.
No, but they're much like Jonathan is only 29. It's like
Ninja Sex Party is the bomb. Ninja Sex Party. is
Ross
so
is still
interesting.
only 31. It's like but
I'm
damn,
23.
Dan and Brian are much older than I would think. I didn't know Dan was so old.
Oh,
that
but
doesn't matter.
if Dan told me he was like 25, I'd believe it. Like,
Yeah,
'cause he
true.
just
Damn,
Yeah.
yes, but again, he's 40 years old.
Oh man, yeah.
He has the full right to have like an 18-year-old child.
I would personally, I would like to have unrealistically, I would like to have. I'll list off a few people of my unrealistic because it's hard to pick one. Anyone from the Game Grumps, I would love to have on.
Yeah, Aaron is a good one.
Then we could just get Dan, and it would be a double whammy. Get two birds in one stone.
True.
Anyone from Game Grumps would be great.
Yeah.
Even like one of them would be a huge treat. I would even take Aaron's wife Susie because she's very interesting.
Susie is such a sweetheart. Yeah.
Okay. Oh God. And now who would I?
No.
I pick?
Cloud still has to do the realistic one.
Okay. Yeah.
So like unrealistically, it's just anyone from Game Grumps or any. One second.
Yeah.
Come on. And then and so anyone from them would be great. And then like would be like anyone from the webcomic community that I watch because honestly they're not that hard to book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, person who does Rain though would be like my all-time.
Oh yeah. Lynn.
like the best.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes. Oh, Tamara Lynn something like a quite Spanish surname, but yes. She, the only woman, the third woman in history to have been diagnosed with testicle cancer.
Hmm.
Yes, Rain is a trans comic, and yes, Tamerlane is a trans woman. All power to her.
Yeah.
All power to her divine soul.
so they're not really hard to book, but also like there are a few YouTubers I would love to do stuff
Mhm.
with, especially the few that have ready, any like Smosh or Niga Higa would be really fun.
Yeah.
Just because they're people I've watched and respect from like the early days of YouTube.
Mhm.
You know, like that whole scene. John Tron would be really good.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, but yeah, maybe not. Is considering his public opinion thing.
Oh, see, with that, for me, it seemed like he just worded what he was saying incorrectly because of like he was under, it was the heat of the moment kind of thing. He did a video later explaining what he was trying to say,
Mhm.
a lot of stuff. But I personally don't, just because I love John and his content makes me laugh.
Good.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
Him earlier. That was.
What do you
that's, like,
think
my
I am?
favorite
Some
thing.
kind of brainiac?
But disclaimer: I'm not a schooler. He's just really good.
Mhm.
But yeah, those
Oh
are
my god! My
Benjamin.
god! My god!
Benjamin, could you not talk through Cloud, please?
Yeah, sorry. It's just like I know a lot of those funny cut-off quotes.
Mhm.
Those.
First since we started doing this, like I never expected to have guests, but since we've already had one, and like I've talked to other people about it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think maybe
Actually.
maybe one day we'll get more people to come and guest, and that'd be really fun.
Yeah.
And maybe one day if we ever get big enough, we'll have one of those come on. Because I bet Danny be down as long as like we get not big enough, but enough to where it doesn't seem like we're just like fans trying to like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we are actually like an up and coming podcast.
Yeah, just because like he's so busy that
Yeah.
like he can't just be like, sure, I'll give these people I have no idea who they are to my time of day. Because not because he wouldn't love to. It's more like
He doesn't have
and
the
like
time.
yeah, and so like if we ever get big enough though,
Mhm.
maybe one day Annie in our Discord.
Yeah. Would be lovely. So NSP and Game Grumps is definitely ideal person. Then we have people from the comic community, and I am
Yeah.
I
Smack, Jeeves, tapas, that kind of thing. Yeah.
and I really want Blairlex and Skotsky to go on. I can actually ask them. But Benjamin, if we're talking about realistic goals of people who we want on the podcast,
Oh.
who do you want?
Okay. Oh, so we're just gonna skip over my fun and go over skip. Oh, it looks like
Oh,
there's a
well, you
dragon in
already
the
had
clouds.
Freddie Mercury, so I was like, oh, okay.
Yes, but we didn't. We weren't allowed to. What was it now again? Weren't allowed
Maybe a
to
lot
pick
of
dead
people.
persons. But yeah, but one thing is that like Freddie Mercury, he was very much flamboyant. Actually, like myself, I'm flamboyantly from heart. Yeah, it's not. It's
Anyway,
less of an actor, more just me screwing around, having fun. But it's still me. But
Mhm.
like, like the band was asked this question that if they could talk with anybody, dead or alive, from this universe, who would they pick? Freddie Mercury said. Freddie Mercury said Marie Antoinette. Why? What would they talk with Marie Antoinette about? Jules.
Oh, Jules.
Jules, yes, and then they.
Hey,
again,
anyway, let's move away from Freddie Mercury and Queen and all that, and move towards people you want that are alive that you either realistically or unrealistically want.
Yes. Okay, we have already established the one with Maria Archer, which is a lovely lady from Germany that I'm working for right now. Which wouldn't be a far stretch. I could I'm probably gonna ask her after this, compose a message, but one other that I actually would quite like is a Instagram artist called Monaseri, and she is and she is quite big. She has 266,000 followers, but the thing is why I think she wouldn't, and she is the author of a Instagram gay webcomic called High Class Homos. As I know, lovely name, ain't it? But the thing about this, yes, it's lovely, and the thing about this is that it's very much, it's a fun comic, but she herself is gay, but that's beside the point. The thing that my friend from a long time ago, but then she still had around 150,000 followers, so she was still very, very big, and she allowed us you're even in the server, Barbs, about you're even in the server. It's about it's my friend has started a comic dubbing team, and we got allowed to cover High Class Homos on that, and she even gave us instructions on how they kind of should sound. So more or less, she actively participated, and we were nobodies. First thing we ever done. Yeah, and that's why I think, and she is like, I think only 1 year older than me, and that's crazy. Yeah,
certain webcomics would be really easy to do a dub of, and then other ones like Rain would be really hard just because of the sheer amount of people you'd need.
Oh yeah,
there's always there's like a million characters.
Instead of like 10, it would be like 30, or like a lot of people who are very good at different voices.
I mean,
and not only that, you would have like, you would probably need like 4 people who are very good at doing voices for the different genders, because there's what was the now again? There's one intersex character that was wrongfully fixated as male. There is a trans woman. There's a trans man, but he isn't. That's not really a problem. But then there is a gender fluid character, and they, whatever they feel, are originally female. But again, apparently she can, more or less. Not only that, it would be a lot of different people. It would also be that some of them would have to be good at doing voices of 2 genders, if not more. But still. But yeah, that's why I think that, and her comic is, it's very good. good. She does this. It's so impressive how she like pumps out maybe 9 pages a week. Again, not really now because it's a lot of breaks and stuff, but still, it's a lot of. It's impressive what she does, and yes, I think this would be quite a interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Cloud.
Yeah. Anyway, I do like fan dubs. There's this person who makes a comic and does the fan dub at the same time. Does it? That's pretty interesting. I haven't read the actual comic, but I've done the fan dubs. I used to know people who did the fan dub for Homestuck, but and then and I never had enough interest to
Wait.
actually read Homestuck.
What is Homestuck?
Don't start.
Oh, guys, don't ask that question. You don't.
What is Homestuck?
You can do that on your own time, my
Yeah,
friend.
please.
What is Homestuck?
Oh.
Tell me, darlings. No,
No.
Theme
don't.
that dominated my convention going for 3 years. I don't. Please no.
Benjamin,
What?
please look it up on Google, Homestuck, and read it
Yes,
for
I am.
yourself.
The complicated story of the Homestuck fandom,
Yeah,
40 minutes long.
yeah, it's really it's
Oh,
After the podcast.
Wait,
definitely look into it.
By April 2016, there's 8,100 pages.
yes.
Damn it!
So
No,
That's not. Is it LGBTQ plus? Is it
Maybe one day
LGBT?
we'll talk about it.
it's
Kind
everything.
of. Oh man.
Fuck! Now I gotta read it.
It has its own. I think when it comes to love,
Yeah.
it's like something I've never heard of before. I know a decent amount about it. I've gotten into it a decent amount. I've never seen the ending because there actually was supposed to be a game that was supposed to come out that was supposed to encompass everything, and I was gonna wait for that, but I think it got canceled.
Yeah, there's something with the game.
Oh my god! What is this?
But Benjamin, do this after the podcast because that is it's even more complicated than Kingdom Hearts, so it's really complicated.
Maybe we'll touch on it
Yeah.
in a different podcast at some point.
Damn it! This seems very, 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 very big.
Regret.
At least.
I'm
I always
sitting slumped down on my chair, my back crushing against my seat, just looking at the Wikipedia page.
Although
It's intimidating. Yeah,
help.
help me! God, I can't stop getting away from the mic. I must sound like I'm in another room. Help!
Oh. The one thing though I do appreciate Homestuck for is it was so popular it got people into webcomics.
True. Yeah.
Because it boomed, dude.
It was so popular at a moment in time. It was really.
Especially
ridiculous.
if you were in high school and or middle school.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
You couldn't say honk without.
Without people
Were you
running
into
away.
the Homestuck fan? Were you into the Homestuck fandom, Barbs?
I wasn't in the fandom, but I actually I watched the whole freaking dub on YouTube. So that was days of watching almost 24 hours. It was so much.
I have a lot of opinions, but we'll save that for a
Yeah.
different.
When
podcast.
when Benjamin has finally read everything of Homestuck.
I don't think I'm ever gonna do that. I'll see you in 2020.
Yeah, It's a long one. It's a real long one.
Yeah.
It's a long one.
And fuck off! I have just started watching Riverdale. I'm not gonna start
Don't
another
watch
round of.
Riverdale. Don't
What?
watch Riverdale.
I am watching Riverdale. I'm sorry. Archie is,
Just
but
fucking
Archie is
sucks.
hot, and secondly, my sister won't stop bugging me about it. But it's a good show either way, and there's a
Listen,
gay character
listen.
in there. So what? Yes. What's wrong with Riverdale?
So, season 1, nothing that wrong with Riverdale.
I
Season
haven't
2
watched.
gets real fucking
No,
weird. Even
no, darling. I haven't watched past like episode 6 or
I'm gonna need
5
you.
of
I'm
the
gonna
first season. No spoilers.
Benjamin, I'm gonna need you to fucking wait till I finish what I'm talking about before you do that kind of thing. Because I'm not gonna spoil anything. Because
Okay.
I respect that, and I wouldn't want to get spoiled. But you gotta start waiting till I finish talking.
Yes.
And anyway, weird, and it gets real bad. Like, I named Alex, was Alex Myers, I think, on YouTube. Has some videos on, and as it goes on, and like, I can't even recognize that show anymore. It's like based on the Archie comics,
Ah, yeah.
and it gets
Whoa,
frustrating.
whoa. Is that supposed to be based on the Archie comic?
Yes.
Riverdale.
Yes.
That's a joke.
Yeah. Yeah. Problem number
Like,
one.
yeah, because it's not a wholesome youth series. It's a fucking murder mystery. It's like Gravity Falls, but
Wait till season 3.
but blood.
Shit gets dumb real fast.
So
Yeah. I'll just have to wait and see, but I'll just enjoy the first season
Listen,
while
everybody.
it lasts.
yeah.
I love the CW. Patrol. I love The Flash. I love Arrow. Legends of Tomorrow. Supergirl's okay. Black
Mhm.
Lightning's also just okay. But I love that world they build.
And what?
But I understand that there's so much drama in the CW shows that it gets real hard to watch. It's one of them shows that just too much angst and drama and nonsense happens. Where the Flash, it's like, oh, I can see how like they came to this conclusion. Where in the Riverdale is just like, I don't understand why this is even happening. What?
Yeah. So you're much better off reading the Archie comics, going back to books.
One day I'll dive into like my love for the CW network,
Mm-hmm.
but that's probably also
Mm-hmm.
a future one. But I'm updated while I was talking to you guys.
Anyway, we are busy for 1.5 hours.
Yes, this has to be a super episode, if you will.
It is.
Yeah, I am. No, but also
Yeah.
listening to us, and you want to be a part of the podcast, let us know. We're always looking for people to.
If you know anybody who would be interested in conducting an interview for an hour or so, if yourself would like, just contact us on these coordinates.
Yeah.
Through snail mail and runes.
Yeah, the YouTube channel is in the description of Streamlabs. We have Twitter now because Cloud is so amazing that he made his Twitter for Cloudwork. And you can just reach us on the Twitch channels as well.
If you're wondering who did our amazing artwork, it was our very own working on it. Barb's
Aww.
here, talented.
Thank you.
And I'm very happy. I myself am also working on a video for the Cloudwork channel about my feelings on Endgame.
Cool.
For those of you who like Marvel,
Oh,
either these people Marvel stuff, but I do.
Yeah.
So
cool.
everyone can look forward to that. There's that. Out for any more projects we may do. I have no idea if we will, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
on her animated project and what Benjamin does, but he does things.
What are you doing for projects nowadays?
For projects, I am helping this girl with the comic, as I told you, and there's a few tidbits. It's I am a part of two two Minecraft role plays. Don't laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And of course, there's always the lingering of I can't remember what it was. Let's see. Of Among Sinners, a new machinima series which I am a part of, and that one is probably one of the more well polished ones. It just takes very slow to come out. There's only been a teaser with me in it, but again, yeah, I have a few tidbits, not really much to advertise.
Okay.
and if you just so everyone know, all three of us work, and so if anyone needs, let us know.
Yeah.
Yes, if everyone would like, I would be happy to lend my sexy voice to anybody, and if anybody would like to know and are a little bit more professional than any 12-year-old, I do a quite decent PM Seymour impression.
Also, if anyone that, but anyway, that is podcast for today. We went for a real long time.
Yeah. It was
real nice doing this again.
It was fun.
We're back.
Yes. It's nice doing this for a long time after not doing it at all. My throat feels sore. Amazing.
Then we're gonna stop. Okay?
Also, thanks to the amazing Speff on SoundCloud for doing our opening song.
Yes.
Good friend of mine, and his SoundCloud, he has some awesome Smash Brothers remix.
Yeah.
He is coming out with 2 new ones soon for the 2 Smash games he hasn't done.
Okay, cool.
Look forward to that.
Put a link in the description on the YouTube. That would be nice.
Oh.
Okay. So I am going to try something new. I'm going to rate someone because rating someone is fun. See you guys after the thingy, and see everyone who watched us and who listened to us next time. I hope next week.
Yeah, me too.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Bye bye. So there
Hi.
we go. We are going to raid Centuria, who is, I think, a brother of a friend of mine.
We are going to what?
Raid.
Raid somebody.
Yes.
Wait,
That's
what do you mean
making-
by raid?
Viewers and move them somewhere else.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So what's going on is that if you raid someone, you are basically putting your viewers to someone else.
Okay, what is raiding?
Raiding is like on Twitch. For example, if Blair has like 15 viewers, and he's raiding someone, all those 15 viewers go to the person that he's raiding. So they are automatically displayed at someone else, meaning.
So, wait, so more or less he's just some stream.